Hi friends, it's Loli. Are you ready for the first DIY? Here it is, let's go. This is the first inspiration piece. We are using this sign from Short Living from Dollar Tree, and I'm removing that sand dollar. And once I removed that, I took an emery board and I sanded off the surface, making sure that everything was nicely leveled, because we are going to go ahead and paint this with 3 coats of my Black & Decker paint and primer. While that sign dried, I'm using this Wreath form from Dollar Tree and this pillowcase from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the section where the wording is and put it to the side. Friends, I want to take this moment to say thank you for clicking on my video. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, be sure to leave me a thumbs up, and if you enjoy the entire video, don't forget to subscribe. It is all free and it means the world to me. And if you do subscribe, make sure that you hit the notification bell so you're notified each time that I upload a video. Okay, so here I am using the leftover section of the pillowcase, and I'm going to cut it into different strips. So here you see me trying to make sure that everything is even and that the lines are aligned. So I am pretty happy with the amount of fabric that I get out of this pillowcase. So here you see me how I folded it, and I'm using those lines to guide me in knowing exactly where to cut. And then I am getting rid of the seams at the ends on here and letting this piece be just one single piece by itself, straight, instead of having it double like it was before, as this was the little portion of the pillowcase in which is sewed in. So here I'm using this piece to guide me to cut the second piece the exact same size. So I did that using that as a pattern, and here I'm doing the exact same thing, but here I am doubling my fabric because I want this to really be covered. So here you see how many strips I ended up with. 5 pieces. I ended up with 5 pieces. Now I'm going to take my Wreath form and wait to see what I'm gonna do with this. So I took the first piece of fabric and put it at the top of my Wreath form. I am having the curved section be towards me, and what I'm going to do is put my fabric underneath of it and add a little bit of hot glue on those little bars that are hitting the fabric. I'm just doing it on those pieces only, just to keep everything in place. And before I did this, I made sure that my lines were straight so my fabric will not be crooked. Once it dried, I'm folding over the other section. I'm adding some hot glue to the other part of the frame, and then I'm going to add that first layer on. If you see, this is a double piece, and I'm making sure that that is attached. And once I have everything nice and leveled, I'm going to go ahead and add some more hot glue in between the 2 other pieces of fabric that are pieced together. Then I flip this over, and I'm going to do the same thing in the bottom section of my form. Now I'm going to pull in the sides, so I'm just folding it inward and gluing it down, and I did that with both sides, and I'm going to repeat the same process with the bottom one. Now here I'm coming in with the third piece. This also is doubled, and what I'm doing is I'm folding it in an angle on the corner to have the illusion of a picture frame, and gluing it onto my corners you see right there. Once I was satisfied with how the seam turned out, I'm going to go ahead and fold it over to the back, and I'm going to glue that in the back section as well, making sure that all the seams are nicely taut, and that the back end here is also, that little corner is not showing on the front. Here I had way too much fabric, so you see me trim that off, and we're going to do the same exact thing we did with the other corner. You know, go ahead and angle it down, making sure that nothing shows in the back. That is like a nice clean angle look, and glue everything down. And I did the same thing with the bottom section. And I made sure that the back end on both of these pieces were nicely secure with hot glue. And this is what it looks like so far. Now I'm back to that first piece I painted white, and I realized I should have taken these pieces off before because I want this a different color. So I'm taking my utility knife and scoring where that paint was, and I'm going underneath of it as well, cutting the piece off, trying to cut that paint and that glue actually off, and I removed all 4 pieces. Now I took my rich black from Folk Art and I gave it a coat of paint. Now back to the fabric piece that we cut in the beginning. So here I am trimming it down to a lot smaller than what it was after I measured it against that piece of wood that I just showed you. So here I am burning off the edges to avoid any kind of unraveling or any fraying. So I wasn't able to fit it still the way that I had it. So here I'm cutting it into individual words in order to have more control on how to position them into that board I painted recently. And once I was done cutting these, I also burned the edges again to avoid that fraying. This is polyester and it really wants to fray a lot. So I made sure to clean that up and put this as close to the letters as possible so I have more way of fitting this. So here I'm back with that board that I have painted, and I'm coming in with some Mod Podge and putting a nice healthy coat on there, making sure to place my grateful word nice and centered and making sure that it's straight. And I was a little crooked, so I had to lift it up and put it back on there, but I pressed it down, make sure that I had no bubbles, and I added extra Mod Podge on the seams to make sure that those stay down. And I repeated this process with the other 2 words. Once they were all down, I came over it with some Mod Podge to protect the surface. And I glued back my black frame onto the new piece there. Now I'm going to take one of these black furniture markers from Dollar Tree and I made lines in the spaces in between the fabric. This is to give this the illusion of shiplap. Then I applied some white paint to it, dry brushing, just to remove some harshness and make this look more natural. Then I took my finger and smudged it out. Now it's time to position this back onto the frame. So I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to add hot glue to the backing of this in the edges where it will be touching the frame. And I just placed it down, making sure that it was nicely centered. Then I took some boxwood from Dollar Tree and I cut 2 pieces off of the stem, and we are going to position it right at the top of our piece. I took some jute cord and I used it to secure both pieces in the middle and make sure to tie it really nicely. Once it was secure, I clicked off the excess stem and cut off the extra jute. And now it's time to attach it to the top using some hot glue. Then I came in with these gorgeous sunflowers from the Dollar Tree. I love these guys. I took 3 of them, lined them up like you see there, and glued them on. But guess what? I'm not done yet. I took some of this furniture marker from the Dollar Tree. This is in the color walnut, and I am going through those shiplap areas there that I drew earlier just to give it a little bit of more of a woodsy feel, and then I just smudged it using my finger, and I came back in with some more of that white to also get away from some of that harshness that I had going on there. I just wanted a touch of brown to be there as well. I made it a hanger, and that is it, guys. We are done. Later on, I'll be covering the back with some craft paper. My friends, this video is part of a collaboration. It is the Fabricate Your Ideas collaboration. It's an open invite, and it is hosted monthly by Aurea from DIY with Aurea and by Wreath from Oneway Designs 238. Their guest hosts this month are Brenda from Rustic Lace DIY and Annie from Crafting with Annie Jones. The link to their channels and to the playlist will be in the description box below and also in the comments. Don't forget to visit the playlist so you're able to enjoy all of these amazing creations. For our second inspiration piece today, I'm going to use this Wreath form from Dollar Tree and this Burlap from Dollar Tree. I love these pieces, guys. So I first took that Burlap fabric and laid it all out. I had to iron it. I did it off camera. And once I was happy with how it was looking, I'm going to flip it over on top of my Wreath form. And I'm going to trace over the indentation of the wires using my glue gun. This is going to allow the hot glue to go through the little openings of the burlap and attach to the metal frame, holding it in place. But don't you worry, this is not the only thing I'll be doing. I will be securing it even better later on, but this is for it to be exactly as I want it and to have it nice and flat and make sure that that fabric doesn't move. There were some areas in which the glue went a little bit too much, so I removed those. Now I'm coming in with some floral wire from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut small pieces of it, and I'm going to make a little U using that. I am sorry that here I am off frame, but the only thing that you are missing there is me making those little U's. So just imagine a staple, but a lot thinner and longer, and with a rounded edge to match the size of your wire in the Wreath form. So I made many of those, and I am positioning them in different areas of the Wreath form. Once I had that done, I came in and I'm trimming all that excess fabric from the edges, but I am leaving a small section above to look as a little border, so I didn't go all the way. So now I am creating a hanger for this. So what I did is I just wrapped the the jute cord like 3 or 4 times. I tied it one end, tied the other end as well, and then I added hot glue in between those strands and I twisted it around until it resembled rope. Then I just glued it on the back as you see right there, let it dry, and that was it for that. So now it's time to embellish my little ladybug bee. I don't know, I just think it looks like a ladybug when they start flying and they put little wings up. You know what I mean, I hope. Anyway, I'm taking some of this ribbon from Carolina Pottery, and I'm just creating a double loop bow, just crossing it against itself twice and then tying it in the middle as you see there with a little bit of jute cord. Then I took some of this polka dotted ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to create a single loop bow like you see me there, crisscross and applesauce on it, and I'm cutting it on there, and I'm going to also tie this in the middle with jute cord, and I'm going to tie it on to the previous bow as well. And then I took some black ribbon also from Dollar Tree, and I am creating a single loop bow smaller than the other two, and I'm going to add that on top of the last bow to create a triple decker bow. I just came up with that name. I love it. That's it. I'm making a commercial. Loli D's Creation, the home of the triple decker bow. What you guys think? Okay, so steering the ship back to port, I made sure that all of my bows were nice and straight and that they were fluffy, and then I dovetailed my ends of each one of my bows. And then using one of the pieces that I cut off a strip, and I'm going to glue it right in the middle of my bow to hide that jute cord, and I just attach it using a little bit of hot glue right there on the back. Some more fluffing, and here we go. We're going to take some of this boxwood from Walmart. I'm going to cut off 2 stems out of that pick and position them right in the bottom section of my bee. Ladybug, my ladybug. Or my lay-bee bug, how about that? Okay, back to port. I'm gonna go ahead and glue my bow right in the middle of where both of the picks unite, or the stems unite, and hold it in place till it dry. I fluffed up my bow, and that was it for that. But of course, you know me already, I'm not done yet. I took this woodwork from Dollar Tree, painted it white, and we're going to glue it right there in the middle of our lay-bee bug. But guys, it was looking like I gave it a bad necklace. So I took it off from that place where I put it before it dried up. Remove that glue, and we're gonna drop that down a little bit for it to be more in the center of the bee instead of in its neck of the lay bee bug. And that's all she wrote for this one. Here we go with the final reveal. Let me know which is your favorite. My friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to follow me on social media, here are my social media links. And don't forget to visit my friends in the playlist. And if you would like to watch another one of my videos, here is a suggestion. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much again. You're amazing. Have an amazing day. Bye.